Hi guys, welcome back. Well, I've picked up these two games recently. One of them was a recommendation, and because they were that cheap, they were both actually just under £10, I thought, why not? Let's give them a go. I'm going to tell you what I think of these two games. Right, I'm going to start with Scars Above. We don't get much. It was on eBay. It was for £9.99 and I snapped it up because I'm a sucker for a cheap game. But is it actually any good? Turns out, I think this is. I really enjoyed this game. I'm not far off completing it anyway. Just to give you a bit of background information on this. Obviously set in the future, and basically this object, looks a bit like a triangle, has suddenly appeared over Earth. It's been there now for, I think it's X amount of weeks, maybe months, I can't remember, and it's just sitting there. It's not doing a damn thing, it's just sitting there. So you are part of a team that are trying to scan it to work out what the hell it is, what is it here for. So you're in your spacecraft, and as you're about to start scanning it properly, it starts to emit a huge amount of energy, and all of a sudden you sort of wake up. I thought first of all you woke up on the planet, but you didn't. You woke up on a completely different planet. As you look at the sky, there's other moons and planets around you, so you ain't in Kansas. I need to say Kansas. You ain't in Kansas anymore, Toto. So you're on another planet, but you're all alone. You haven't got a clue where the rest of your team members are, and that's the start of the game. You are searching for them, you want answers, you want off. But the further you get into it, the further it feels as if what that triangle-shaped object had done was it had taken you to almost sort of another dimension, another world. There's creatures on there that don't make a lot of sense. They look really, I wouldn't say wacky, wacky's not the right word, but they really do look good. But you can tell it's got nothing to do with Earth, but it's as if the DNA of, I suppose, humans, maybe other aliens they come in contact with, are being entwined and used with, within these creatures. And the further you go on, the further you start to find your team members. Now, I don't want to obviously spoil it for anyone. It does remind me, not a lot, but a little of the game Returnal, where you get so far, you die, and you have to start all over again at the beginning. It's not that bad, thankfully. There is sort of like pillars that you can touch, and that's your save points throughout. It's not an open world game, but what it does very, very well. Now the graphics on this game, they're not AAA. They're not AAA. I would say they're either very, very good PS3 or early PS4 sort of games. Graphics to look at, but I'm trying to give you some form of timeline of where I think it fits in with graphics. But it's the playability. It's got a fantastic story. It does play very well. You can pick up weapons, you can modify weapons, you can obviously improve yourself, so it does have a little bit of RPG elements as well. But it's a damn good game, and I'm really enjoying it. Now, to make things fair, I've had a look at Metacritic, and on there at the moment, the game was released February the 28th, 2023. like I say, I've picked it up for just under £10. I think the cheapest now I've seen it elsewhere is 16 because they have sold out on Amazon. And it's got a current Metacritic score of 64 and a user score of 6.8. So it's above average or average sort of game. I think I'd go with that, but it's a very enjoyable game. I do recommend this one. It's a game, if I hadn't have seen it so cheap, I probably wouldn't have picked it up. I've not seen any reviews on it beforehand, so I thought, you know what, I'll dip my toe and see what happens. And I'm glad I did. Brilliant game. Go and check that one out. Right, this next game, The Chant. Now, I've got the limited edition. It was recommended to me by Eddie at rollerXcore, and I'm so glad he did. I mean, what you're actually getting here is an art book, the game itself, and as you can see, as I cover up my codes, reversible cover, disc is in the machine because I'm currently blasting this one. In fact, I'll probably have it completed today. And it's called Glory Island, and I'll just show you a bit. It shows you a few of the characters that are in the game. Sorry, a few of the creatures. I'll do one more. That'll do. Anyway, what is this game about? Well, you are sort of a bit of a lost soul. That's what you are. And you've lost your sister when you played a bit of a prank. She basically, and I'm sorry I'm ruining it a little bit, she swam out into the middle of the lake and she drowned. That's what happened. So you need something, you need help. So the character you play, she's basically gone off to a camp, you know, full of wisdom and healing and that sort of thing. She actually does mention it feels a bit culty. It does feel, and it is a lot culty. But that's the reason why you're there. Now, prior to that, and many years earlier, yeah, it was a cult. And there was somebody delving. It didn't work, so I'm not telling you the full story there. It didn't work, and basically these creatures, shall we say, are around. Now, this sort of does delve into, I suppose, a little bit of hell, a little bit of alternative reality and cults and what they try to do. I suppose to see certain things, and all hell breaks loose. All hell breaks loose in this game. It does play a little like Resident Evil, very early Resident Evil games. There's some good problem solving in this. There's some great problem solving in this. And you will have to backtrack, you will have to do certain things twice. You're looking for keys, locks, certain doors, certain types of metal that you put together, certain type of flowers, and all the way through it you've got to make sure that you're keeping your brain, your heart, and I suppose your spirit in check. And obviously, you know, if you want to improve your brain, you can take a bit from your spirit, stand there and charm, get a bit of spirit back from the crystals that are lying around. So it's, if you get me, it's got that sort of, you know, almost like hippie-ish sort of thing in some regards. That, you know, yeah, you've got these healing crystals. But what it does very well. It's got a cracking story. Obviously, you start to work out what the goal is going to be. You need to get all these crystals and you need to put everything right. I'm very close to completing this one as well. And I'm thoroughly enjoying it. It's definitely worth the money. You know, it's a tenner. It's a tenner, that's all it is. And I'm so glad I acted on Eddie's recommendation. Now again, with this game, I'm just looking at the Metacritic score. Just to advise you, it did get released on the 3rd of November 2022. And it's got a Metacritic score of 68 and a user score of 7.2. I'd actually say, based on sheer gameplay alone, that's a little low. I'd give it a little bit more. Again, graphics wise, it's not AAA, it's not going to blow your socks off, but it does have moments where it's like, hey, that looks pretty damn good. But again, I would say it's end of life PS3 sort of graphics to early PS4 graphics, but it does very well. The acting in it is quite believable as well, and it's such an enjoyable game. So again, if you can, get it picked up. It's worth the money. And that's it. I'm out of here. So 2 games there for you. Cheap as chips, and definitely worth a playthrough. Thanks for watching. Thank you for supporting me. Catch you lot all again. Take care. Woohoo!